And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Kyle Phillips. And Kyle Phillips writes, I just read that MGM has confirmed Creed 3 will be released on November 24th. I thought I heard 23rd, but whatever. 23rd or 24th. With Michael B. Jordan in the director's chair. Personally, I am thrilled at this news as I have loved the last two installments and I'm excited to see Jordan's directorial debut. What are your thoughts? Thanks, and keep up the great work. All right, you know, I have to admit that when the first Creed was announced, I thought, well, this is a really stupid idea. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to watch a Rocky movie that isn't about Rocky.
Yeah.
This is dumb. Oh, it's Apollo's son. And I just thought it was the dumbest thing imaginable. Mm-hmm. Then I saw Creed and I'm like, holy crap, this is awesome. It was so good. I like everything. And I love the way it really was still a Rocky movie, but it was the transition phase. It was the moving on of the story, the changing of chapters. And I love the relationship they created between Rocky and Adonis. And Michael B. Jordan was fantastic in it. Mm-hmm. I just loved it. Creed 2 comes out, and I enjoyed Creed 2. I liked Creed 2. It wasn't on the same level as Creed 1, but the whole thing of bringing in, you know, the Dragos and all that kind of stuff, and that kid who played Ivan Drago's son, that dude is like, he was designed by geneticists 20 years ago. That kid is like, holy crap, he's ripped. Anyway, there were some whispers going around, some talk, and we talked about it on the John Campea Show a while ago, that there was some talk going around that Michael B. Jordan might actually make his directorial debut doing a Creed 3. It's now official. It's done. It's going to come out in November next year, and Michael B. Jordan will be directing the film. There's a couple things I like about this. The first thing I like about it is the fact that we're getting a Creed 3. I think there are more stories to tell with this character. And even if you just look at his personal life, like the relationship with Tessa Thompson in the movie and stuff like that, there's a lot of story there to tell. And then, of course, he was still just at the beginning of his career when we last left him in Creed 2. We're relatively close to the beginning of his career. There's a lot of story there to tell. So that's number one. I like the idea of Michael B. Jordan directing this, and here's why. I often get a little nervous about first-time directors taking on something, biting off more than they can chew. Mm-hmm. Like trying to make their first film a big tentpole project. Like you take an example, I'm trying to remember the name of the guy. Why am I forgetting his name? He's huge in the business. The guy who directed X-Men, New Mutants. Hold a second. Not New Mutants. Dark Phoenix.
Let's see what the chat says. The chat room can always be counted.
See if I can find it before the chat throws it in there.
Kinberg.
Simon Kinberg. Simon Kinberg. I don't know why.
They're on a delay.
I don't know why I've frozen Simon Kinberg's name, but like Simon Kinberg had never directed a film before. He's a huge wealth of experience of writing and a producer, but to make his first directorial effort a larger tentpole X-Men film, I thought was unwise. And it turned out that way. One of the things I love about this is that the Creed movies are not huge budget movies. They're really more personal kind of movies. And if you're going to direct your first film, why not do it in a franchise where you are totally already at home in? You totally already know these characters. And it just, to me, is an ideal kind of first directorial effort thing. And Michael B. Jordan has worked with some of the best. And he mentions that in this as well. As we go over, this comes to us from Michael B. Jordan himself, who says, directing has always been an aspiration, but the timing had to be right. Creed 3 is that moment, a time in my life where I've grown more sure of who I am, holding agency in my own story, maturing personally, growing professionally, and learning from the greats like Ryan Coogler, like most recently Denzel Washington, and other top-tier directors that I respect, all of which sets the table for this moment. This franchise, and in particular the themes of Creed 3, are deeply personal to me. I look forward to sharing the next chapter of Adonis Creed's story with the awesome responsibility of being its director and namesake from Michael B. Jordan. And one of the things he pointed out there too, he has worked with some of the best directors in the world, including, and not the least of which is Ryan Coogler, who just like turns everything into gold that he touches. He's waited. Michael B. Jordan has had the star power for a while that he could have directed something if he wanted, but he waited. and he waited and he wanted to learn and he wanted to grow. And honestly, now he has found the ideal first directing position for him. I think this is fabulous. I'm really looking, look, maybe he's a terrible director. Maybe he'll suck. Sure. But you give yourself the best chance for success in an environment like this. So I'm really curious to see what he's going to do. What do you think about, number one, we're going to get Creed 3. Number two, what do you think about them now confirming Michael B. Jordan is going to be directing this sucker?
You know what? When I read this, I don't want to say that I wasn't surprised, as if I had in some way imagined that this would happen. It hadn't occurred to me, but it makes complete sense. And a lot of times, what happens is a lot of times you'll see a television show that you really enjoy, and then you'll notice that episode was directed by one of the stars of the show.
Right,
and you go,
yeah.
hey, that's interesting.
Happened on The Office a lot.
Exactly. And the way that happens is, you have a show, the show starts picking up some success. Usually the first season, they will bring in outside directors. But a lot of times, if an actor, like let's say that I'm a series regular on a show, the show has a first season, if we see that it's becoming successful and I have aspirations to direct in television, I'll say to the producers, hey, by the way, if we get a second season, I'd like to put my name in the hat to direct an episode. And then usually I'll have to show a short film or something that I've directed. Or sometimes if I've shadowed one of the directors, then you spend some time shadowing directors. They understand your process. And then they give you an episode, maybe in the third or fourth season. That happens a lot of times in the world of television. So this is almost a similar situation where, like you said, he has been in the two properties before. He's intimately familiar with the property, but not only that, a lot of times with these franchise films, the crew remains the same. You may change the director, or the head writer may change, but a lot of times the cinematographer, the main crew, a lot of times will be brought back on for the second and third installments. So he's working with a crew that he's also familiar with. And I love how he gives he pays homage to the men who shared with him and taught him, that obviously have been mentors to him and will continue to be. We've also seen this happen with Jodie Foster and Penny Marshall, Angelina Jolie, Ron Howard, thank you. I mean, there's just so many. Kenneth Branagh, for example. There's been so many examples of actors who have then decided to go behind the camera, which then gives them a longevity in this industry that as an actor, you are definitely not guaranteed.
Right.
We now have people, Ron Howard is now known as a director, and there's an entire generation that has never seen him in front of the camera before.
Right.
And maybe doesn't even know that he was at one point an actor. And now we're seeing the same thing happen with his daughter, Bryce Dallas Howard. Tom finally got me to sit down and start watching The Wire. I know.
Wow.
I'm the last human on the planet.
I was late to the party too. I didn't start watching The Wire till like 4 or 5 years ago. Somebody turned me on to it because I keep hearing all these people saying greatest television show of all time.
It's hard when
Michael
it's
B.
already
Jordan's in it, by the way.
I know, and I obviously won't, give any spoilers to those who are still even later than me to the game. But he is such a young performer. He gave such a beautiful, well-rounded and emotional and heartfelt performance, that to see how he has matured, and I love that he actually spoke to that, is not just, well, I wanted to do it, so I'm going to do it. He specifically said, I've matured to the place. And that tells me that not only is he wanting to try something new, he's wanting to branch out his own professionalism and his own creativity, but that he also understands the weight of the responsibility of being a director, and that he's not just going to go in and be like, I'm a star, so everyone should treat me like a star. No, he's going in with the maturity to take this seriously, which I think Creed 3 is just going to be one of many incredible opportunities that he has as a director. And I wouldn't be surprised if, like Clint Eastwood, we're talking about Michael B. Jordan as an Academy Award-winning director many years from now in the future. I think that he and Olivia Wilde are both setting themselves up for beautiful directing careers.
I can't wait to see what Olivia Wilde's next one as well. But
yep.
And which way will he go? I mean, it doesn't always work. I mean, yes, he could turn out to be the next Ben Affleck, where like everything Ben
Argo,
Affleck...
fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Argo, fuck yourself. Argo was a great movie. Ben Affleck did.
That's what I'm saying. He's one of the great directors.
Oh, I thought you were saying
Gone Baby Gone.
I know. Like, what are you talking about? Say what you want about Ben Affleck. He's a great director.
No, so he could go one way.
Jordan Peele.
He could go that way, or it could go like Elizabeth Banks, where
Pitch Perfect movies have done great, haven't they?
But they haven't been great.
Oh, okay. I don't watch them.
One.
They're not.
The first one is really great. The first one's the best one. If she didn't direct that one, and I haven't really. Now you got to understand, I am in love. I've been in love with Elizabeth Banks ever since 40-Year-Old Virgin.
She's wonderful.
She's fantastic. She's one of my favorite actresses. But I have to admit, I haven't really been thrilled with her Pitch Perfect movies, and I certainly wasn't thrilled with her Charlie's Angels movie.
Yeah.
Didn't. So I mean,
She
it
keeps
doesn't always
getting chances.
She's doing the new one. She's making. We just talked about it on the show yesterday. She's doing this one based on a true story called Cocaine Bear, about a bear who ate 70 pounds of cocaine, and she's directing that for Lord Miller. So, but maybe she can turn around. But anyway, guys, the question is, what do you think about this? We've got Creed 3. It's now officially on the books, coming out in November of next year, and it is now official. Michael B. Jordan will be making his directorial debut in a franchise he's very comfortable in. Are you nervous about it? Do you think, man, they just should have gotten one of the previous other directors back? What do you guys think about this? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys.